Hey guys, Kevin Cage back with another cryptocurrency update. Let's get right into it today. So I'm going to be tying in some points with Strata Labs. We got Interledger, we have BNY Mellon, R3, MasterCard. So pay close attention. I kind of want to go over and tie it all in. A few points that some people have missed. I did see Mickey Refresh though bring this up with Cryptopolis and Brad Kimes again regarding basically the white paper with PayID. So before we get into the information, I do want to cover this briefly. So PayID protocol, we see a few names of contributors. Obviously David Short, CTO of Ripple. And we have a few other names, and I may butcher them, but just so you know, Michael here was the former and again founder of Logos Network, the group that was acquired by Ripple that is what? Building DeFi products, guys. Decentralized finance will be huge. Derivative products, you all understand this is a market that is, anywhere from 700 trillion. That's kind of the average. You get estimates from 500 trillion to 1.2 quadrillion dollars. So obviously there is utility there, but we need to bridge these gaps as well. So you have also Austin King. I'm not sure if he was a Spring contributor. I found some of these guys here on Twitter. I'm not sure if he was a Spring contributor. You can, again, just kind of see who he's following and whatnot and see that he's kind of connected as well. All right. So then we have Anchal Malhotra. So I'm sorry if I'm butchering that. PhD, software engineer at Spring, interested in cryptography. And then again, former founder of the Logos Payment Network. Okay. So really quick, and then here's the documentation. We've covered this in the past, but I just wanted to kind of re-say this before I get into additional information for all of you newcomers. So this was back from September 27th, 2019. Again, Ripple did acquire the payments platform, this Logos network, to develop DeFi products specifically. The market for them will be absolutely massive, tons of upside. And again, Ripple, XRP, these digital assets specifically, many of them are going into DeFi as well. Okay. So really quick, also just a quick mention, we can kind of do a little control find for Ripple, and obviously they're in the Open Payments Coalition, no surprise, but they actually get a little acknowledgement here. So significant support for and development of PayID has been provided by Ripple and Spring. And again, it's pronounced Spring, not Xpring, right? Checkmate. And remember, Spring, this initiative, we have, Ethan Beard, we have all of these guys. This is a done deal. If you guys see the infrastructure they're building, they're bridging the gap. It is absolutely unbelievable. So, for example, Strata Labs, scaling the Internet of Value. In 2018, we started development on Interledger protocol. Okay, and of course, Spring is in tandem with ILP as well, an open source standard for sending cross-currency payments. We build cloud infrastructure, makes me think of RippleNet with all their cloud capabilities now, empowering them with simple integration into ILP or the Interledger network. Right? Network scale that points 3,000 transactions per second. Keep in mind, ILP is all about the Internet of Value, not scaling it per se like Strata Labs or Strata Labs, but it's about financial inclusion and a level playing field. Currency agnostic for anyone, anywhere, anytime, period. ExtraP's plan, Ripple's plan, all of these groups that are helping with the XRP ecosystem is if XRP cannot win on a level playing field where everything's even and they get, obviously just level playing field and equality and financial inclusion, and they can't win off the cold hard numbers and obvious, metrics, it doesn't deserve to win at all. So after processing 10 billion transactions in late 2019, they accepted the acquisition offer from Ripple. Today, the team's working within Ripple on Spring, the Spring Initiative, to further accelerate adoption of open payment standards. All right, follow their progress over at Spring to build a future of open and inclusive financial systems. And this is on stratalabs.io, right? So we'll keep going here. Austin King. All right, now right here. So Matthew LINY sharing this. So how to adopt Swift GPI by 2020 deadline. So notice Finextra, a Volante report. We're not really going to go into this specifically, but again, this is relevant just to show you the push to finish GPI integration by 2020, or at least maybe that's a goal. We know, all these banks, all these systems are notorious for delays. All right. But it's also worth to note how connected Volante is. Volpay, we'll go over that as well. So talking about the Swift standards, messaging, GPI is literally just X currents, basically stealing Ripple's technology. All right, collaboration with fintechs, no surprise, public and private must work together. We understand that Swift, even though it's basically based out of Belgium, is highly influenced by the United States, so it is simply a matter of time for equality. When I say a level playing field, I mean many things, not just the typical term for all cryptocurrencies to compete. I mean everything to compete. I mean financial inclusion for all, tapping into the unbanked, and basically just freedom of choice. So, removes the tyranny of standalone systems and guarantees that an institution's ability to participate in the benefits of Swift GPI will not be limited by its size, physical location, or technology capabilities. Now, for example, guys, even just, in many industries, you have to be an accredited investor, have, 250K liquid cash or a couple million to even invest. That's ridiculous. Thanks to asset fractionalization, and I believe in the future of the Internet of Value, financial inclusion, everyone will be able to invest. If you cannot invest $10,000, but you can put in $100, you'll be able to do that. Right? And that's just one little example. But now, Damor Sahami, one of the originals over at Love for Crypto, leaving this right here. This is really relevant, so pay attention. So Finastra, check this out. Fact sheet, Fusion Global Pay Plus. Well, Global Pay Plus, guys, that platform, guess who they're integrated with? That's right, RippleNet. All right? And that's actually at the base. And obviously, Global Pay Plus can be used by many, many groups. And actually, CLS has been showing a lot of interest, which is crazy because they process over 50% of the foreign exchange markets, the Forex markets volume, which is unreal. Right here, Finastra even teaming up with R3 and 7 leading banks to create DLT platforms for syndicated lending. We know lending is a big deal. We know Ripple's doing it, and we can even recognize a few RippleNet partners right here talking about DLT. And then, for example, just so you, actually, let me go right here. So, talking about this, what to send, mandatory, why is it crucial? Specifically, obviously it's called Global Pay Plus. Well, I mean, obviously it's about cross-border money transfers right here. They're complex today, hard to track. Providing the universal confirmation will facilitate the smooth flow of money. Now, not all of this has to do with settlement. I understand that. I'm just saying, yes, they are integrated with RippleNet as a whole. I know they have a whole suite of products, and obviously XRP is that settlement aspect, or that option to use a digital asset for liquidity. All right, and I understand that's a process. I understand you have to develop markets in due time, but I just wanted to show you the connections are there, and they really are building the skyscraper, in my opinion. So by the end of 2020, all SWIFT FIs will be mandated to send payment confirmations. Why is this crucial, and where are the benefits? Interesting, okay? Feel free to pause the screen if you guys want to read this further. I'm going to keep going, okay? Operational costs, you get it. All right, and we understand Finastra, big boy. And then, for example, let me see here. Maybe it was on this other page. Again, I mean, essentially, guys, Finastra is just a behemoth. They already work with, of the top 50 banks in the world, they're connected to 48 of them. So you get the gist. They're a technology provider for the clearinghouse and the real-time payments system in the United States. We'll talk more about that, okay? Remember, HSBC, ING, BNB, Paribas. I always butcher that name, all right? Pay close attention, and this is all having to do with R3's Corda. No surprise. Now, I understand this is syndicated lending and not necessarily, settlements all the way, but guess what? Trade finance is, I mean, obviously it still has to do with settlement, right? I was just kind of referencing real-time, gross settlement systems for remittance, and that's, remittance is not really my concern, to be honest. I mean, I understand on-demand liquidity is the thing that everybody's watching, but I'm looking at something else, because if the Internet of Value is going to happen, I'm looking at the big movement, the high value transfers, rather than what the little transfers and low value transactions are doing. All right, right here, BNY Mellon, just to show a few connections. Former Ripple employee went to work for BNY. Right here, so Prashant, I don't want to butcher your last name, joined the global payments, as a global payments product manager for BNY. All right. We can see here development for payments digitization and Swift GPI for global clients. He's responsible for all of this. And then right here, over 18 years work experience in banking consulting, joined BNY Mellon in 2018 from Ripple, where he's leading the implementation of Ripple's real-time cross-border payment solutions in Asia Pacific region. Okay, the APAC region. All right, interesting. And we can also recognize ANZ, Westpac, a few names that we've recognized. All right, next up. Now BNY. BNY officially joins blockchain-based Marco Polo network. We're aware of this. Again, R3, huge portion in this. There's going to be many, many services built around it. I'm just showing you how they're all working together. Remember, BNY Mellon is also directly tied to Ripple. I mean, we even remember Matthew Mellon, rest in peace, after obviously passing away. But luckily, I do believe that his XRP was kind of stashed in different areas under different people's names, and they had access to the private keys. But again, who knows really how that all went down. All right, right here. I've shown this many times in this channel, guys. Shout out to the SteveOC223 on Reddit. They have all the links. They have kind of a few talking points. I'm just going to speed through it to tie it all together with Ripple. And then even back in the day, we have BNY Mellon reinventing payments. This is on the Ripple Insights back in 2016. These banks are highly connected. They're all just focusing on, obviously, DLT, taking a cautious but optimistic approach with all of this. This is where the future is going, zero doubt. So right here, we have all of this. I'm not going to open these links right now. You guys can literally just type in, Ripple, Volante, BNY Mellon, Clearinghouse, and find it right away. So right here, Volante Technology, they launched their accelerator for bank integration to Ripple. And again, specifically the XRP ledger. We have Volante, huge group. Volpay, of course, their service is directly integrated even to, UK and Chaps and all of these groups. So obviously, you can understand that integration is key, interconnectivity is key for potential as well. And then I understand that liquidity is a whole different beast, but I'm showing you that the rails are there, but are they functional quite yet? I'm not sure. But again, if you really did just plug in Swift GPI with R3, you could argue, and I know even Demore Sahami has said this, the actual volume, if you just bridged it and just supposedly, flip the switch, that volume is the liquidity necessary. So to each their own. But I do like the XRP Ledger's approach to developing liquidity, the burn rate, statistically making market makers more likely, and I mean, I'm talking minimally, but barely likely to profit over time, which will keep it very, very competitive, guys. There's just so much to go into this ecosystem. It's not all about buying a coin and then, writing 50% profits. There's much more. And I understand that XRP is frustrating. I understand that, you probably hated that. You've probably bought at $1.50. Maybe some of you got it at half a penny early days. That was the first time that I saw XRP's price. I mean, even in early March, I think 2017, it was at like 0.005, 0.007. And it didn't last long. Once things got going, there was a bull run in the spring of 2017, along with the big one. But again, guys, if you really think this is going to be below $1, no, that just means that, XRP, the whole ecosystem they're building, has failed. FlashFX, all the hard work that everybody's doing has failed. And I believe that XRP is pretty transparent. It's going to be zero or hero. But if you're not willing to wait, I recommend going into, the stock market or chasing penny stocks or, chasing some of these altcoins. And frankly, some of them are scams and they're not going to be here 5 years from now. So again, do your own research. None of this is financial advice. I'm just dot connecting here. All right. So Volante, we understand integration, processing, orchestration of payments and financial messaging. Okay. US-based banking heavyweight BNY Mellon joined forces to create and deploy technology to enable RTP in the US and internationally. Right now, people argue XRP has no domestic use case. And interestingly enough, I agree with that because obviously domestic utility is so efficient already. But now they're actually talking about 365, 24/7 options and between walled gardens. So if JPM coin made one and Bank of America had their own coin, then, those are walled gardens that still need interoperability. So there's different points you guys could argue. All right, BNY Mellon's first initiative was to become the first bank to successfully originate a real-time payments over the new immediate payments network launched by the Clearinghouse. And I know we've gotten all of this news in 2020 and the chaos that's occurred lately or recently in the recent months. So we all know that every bank basically came out with articles. Some are years old, but some were new and refreshed, saying, hey, the US network has not been updated in 40 plus years. It's time to basically focus on real-time payments, domestically improving how fast our payments can be moved. And I think that's just the first step. Improve domestic, then improve international. Just like Swift. We're in, Swift GPI and Xcurrent and RippleNet. Improve the messaging, the reconciliation, the clearing. What's next? Boom. Settlement. Okay, with finality. Now, the Clearinghouse has launched 24/7 real-time payment system, the first new core payments infrastructure in the US in more than 40 years. So you haven't even read this. It's been a while. It's just obvious. The first ever real payment system was initiated between, again, BNY Mellon, guys, a big mover in this initiative, and US Bank, and they'll be shortly followed by Citi, JPM, PNC, which is one of RippleNet's first customers, SunTrust, who represents the industry's earliest adopters of real-time payments. Notice, VocaLink, I Am Legion, and the XRP community has covered their connection as well with MasterCard. You can find his blogs on coil.com. So right here, is that at its core, the technology behind the real-time payments RTP is an evolution of its systems. These solutions have been designed to run on their own rails, working alongside and between conventional settlement systems. Notice, level playing field, interoperability, let the markets decide. All right, one last thing before we move to the next slide, which you must pay attention to. So, Accenture guys relationships and strategic alliances with market-leading fintech vendors, including ACI Worldwide, RippleNet Partner, Funtech, Clear2Pay, First Data, VocalLink, again, right there with MasterCard, and Ripple. Now, keep in mind, Accenture's not only helping Ripple, they've also helped Swift and also R3. And keep in mind, I say this in like every video lately, because I just want people to really look into it. And if they find anything interesting, send it my way, please. I'm always looking for additional research. So, remember, Accenture helping all of these groups with the DLT digital transformation. They were one of the first investors in Ripple, so you could say they want Ripple to have a high valuation. Well, what gives Ripple the highest valuation? Well, considering they're kind of a central bank for XRP, I'd imagine appreciation of XRP and utility would be one of the obvious, most effective ways to do so. So you could say Accenture may want Ripple to succeed utilizing XRP with their network. Funny because they're also helping Corda, the application of R3, and R3 also had a huge lawsuit for the $5 billion with a B XRP they were promised. We do not know how much they settled on. There's obviously NDAs they cannot discuss. And then also Corda Network, and with the help of the former CEO of Swift, even talking about it when it happened, in tandem with David Rutter, CEO of R3, saying Corda is directly integrated now, or can be, with, again, Swift GPI. Interconnectivity. That is what I'm investing on. Obviously, there's more to it, but that's just a little speculative thing on the side. You don't necessarily need these ecosystems to, survive and do well, but I'm looking for the big money. I'm looking for explosive money. So we will see. I'm taking risks. All right. Lastly, just in tandem with R3, one of the other original researchers, long time here, is XRP Nuts on Twitter here. So R3 on XRP, this was back from August 2019. I know I'm going to get some stupid comments in my video, as always, saying, this is from 5 years ago. This is old news. Yeah, well, I'm not connecting it with things that just occurred today with PayID. So please read that white paper before you comment something like that. All right, this is the first thing I saw on R3 since the Corda settler. And again, Corda, remember the digital asset, they named XRP able to settle, and they actually reference XRP here specifically. Again, check it out. So right here, okay. Make a payment using the API, or in the case of cryptocurrencies, initiate a transfer using public nodes of that external blockchain network. For XRP, we use the Ripple public nodes to initiate the transfer, talking about settlement methods, etc. All right. Next, here are the steps that occur. Again, Corda Settler DApp, this is kind of a distributed or decentralized application. For this, use case, I consider it a little more permissioned. So let's just say distributed. The example R3 uses is XRP cryptocurrency tokens from the Ripple blockchain. Back in the day, keep in mind, XRP wasn't always called XRP. Sometimes it was even called Ripples, believe it or not. So we can extend this Corda app as well. Move it around. Okay, I'm just kind of reading this. And then you can kind of see the whole flow, the workflow here. Steps in the Settler Corda app. All right, right here. Obligation with relevant example XRP after receiving the FX rate. So again, you can see the whole thing, and right in this steps in Corda Settler DApp. Company A, Company B, we have the notary, we have the FX oracle, getting that information in actual quotes and conversions, and then boom, settlement oracle, all in tandem with the XRP network. Interesting. Food for thought, guys. We will simply see. Again, guys, I appreciate it. Be sure to check the links in the video description. Shout out to my top channel members, JCR Central, Jamie XRP, Crypto Beginner, Philip Price, Ken Melendez, XRP Holder 4, and XRP Blast. Appreciate you guys that like, share, and subscribe. Until next time.